Well, hello. In a previous video I showed you how to make this little girl. Now little girls need clothes, of course, so today we're going to make this little dress, and in a later video I will show you how to make this little bloomers. But first of all, the dress. Now what are you going to need for this dress? Of course the pattern that's available on Etsy. It's only this piece. Can't help myself, but that's the only thing you need. Okay? And you need, of course, some fabric. You're going to need 15 centimeters by a meter. That is the same as 6 inch by 40 inch. Then you need some snaps, velcro or buttons. Of course, your sewing machine. That's it. Okay, so the method I use is not standard. It is simplified. But I think for those of you who have not much experience with sewing, this is an excellent way of making this little dress. You're going to cut out your pattern, and it says here on the fold, and that's 2 times. So on the fold 2 times. That will look something like this. It's a bit strange, but it is like this. Yeah. Then you're going to iron in the seam allowances. The pattern are included in the seam allowances, but you can read that on the pattern itself. So you're going to make sure that this and this is exactly the same. Then you're going to place them on top of each other. And now comes the most important thing of sewing this little dress. That is, you're going to start over here. You flap it open, and the other side you flap it open. You're going to start here, and you're going to sew all the way up to the next point. Make it you open and go to really to the completely to the next point. But the trick is that the shoulders must be exactly the same in width. The way I do that is when I'm here at the first shoulder. I should say when I'm here at the first shoulder. I'm going to count how many stitches I need on my machine, because it's just a little piece, until I am at the next corner. Now let's say that there are 6 stitches. Then I know I need to make 6 stitches here as well, and here and there. That's the only tricky bit of this pattern. So let's do that. Now if you've done like I did, you've sewn completely around the whole piece, leaving the this side open. For me these were 8 stitches. It could be 8, it could be 6, it could be 9. The trick is that you use the same amount of stitches on every shoulder. You can trim down the seam allowance, because you can see it's quite a lot of seam allowances. You can trim them down and make tiny clips into the curves, but not into your stitches, of course. So then you can turn this piece quite nicely, push out all the corners of the shoulders. You have your skirt, and I have overlocked my skirt. That's something I like to do because I like to work a bit neatly. You can use your overlocker or your zigzag machine, whatever. And for this piece you can already fold over the short sides and sew them down on both sides. So now you have something like this. This is the upper part, the body. It's double, of course. It's already lined now. It's completely the same on both sides. And since we already ironed the seam allowance in, it's easy to turn them in again and give them again a good press. So that makes working with it so easy. Okay, so that's we're going to lay in front of us. Now we have the skirt. And of course we have to gather the skirt. For that I made 2 lines, gathering lines with the machine, with my widest stitch. For me that's 6 millimeters. Maybe yours is different, maybe you want to do it by hand. All is well. And then we're going to gather it, because until it is almost the same width. Oh, it's so easy. I like to use my pliers. We're going to bring this inside between the 2 seam allowances, inside the body. I give it a pin, It's there. Going to take the other side as well. Going to place that between here. I will do it a little bit professionally because I'm working in front of the camera. It's a bit difficult for me. And then I'm going to stitch until the seam it's exactly the same width, and I'm going to make sure that I divide the gathers exactly how I want them. Pin it. You get the drill, I think. And then sew on the right side 1 millimeter from the edge on the right side, because you want to make sure that the right side, the side that's facing you, is very beautiful. And if there is 1 or 2 stitches that don't quite fit here, it's okay. You can correct that by hand. I will do that and show you. So now we have something that looks like a dress. Don't mind this, I'm going to explain. It's nice on the front side and it's nice on the back side if you worked accurately. Now you know why. Because this is a very fast method to sew a dress, but you need to be very careful and very accurately. I hope I am using the right word. I think so. Now I think you can see what needs to happen. The shoulders needs to close. So now you know why I wanted you to make exactly the same amount of stitches, because now they fit perfect. For that you're going to use the leather stitch. And I think if you're into doll making, you already know what the leather stitch is, but for you who don't, you bring your shoulders together. I like to start at the right side and then go into the inside, but it's okay if you do it vice versa. You're going, and I'm going to come close to the camera, you're going to pick up just a mini amount of fabric on one side, and then a mini amount of fabric on the other side. That's all there is to it. It is a little bit fiddly, but mostly because I'm now trying to be in camera and doing this. So I'm going to the upside again and to the other side again. Now you can see if you pull on the thread, it will close up very beautifully. If you're at the end, you're going to turn it around and you're going the same way back on the inside, so that makes it very secure indeed. You do that to the other one as well, of course. Now then you can decide, of course, how you want to close your dress. In this case I used some snaps, but you can use Velcro, of course, buttons, whatever. And then you try it on your girl, and you're going to decide the length and make a seam. I don't have to show that, I think. So that is the most easiest way to make a dress. I think that when I didn't have to record, I could make such a dress in less than an hour. If I did the preparations, of course. I had my fabric laid out and already cut out and then start sewing. I think it's less than an hour to make this little dress. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.